But yeah, I shouldn't
Like,
blame Cameron.
I have no part in this.
But you are enabling of it.
Mhm.
You appreciate it.
I'm an enabler. Oh boy.
I mean, you are the main adult here in a way, so you're
Oh
at least
You're
in the
the
terms of the
most
party.
adult.
no. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Right.
He knows the most physics, therefore he is the oldest.
Oh boy.
This is how it works.
But I'm glad you were excited. We do have the recording of last week's up if you want to catch up on what Soph did after you left. And this will also be up hopefully soonish, so you can catch up when you would like. We're actually getting, funny enough, a strange amount of views, I would say, on our channel, which is kind of weird to me. Like, it's like the first video makes sense. Well, I mean, like we had one thing that was uploaded yesterday, and it's already got like 10 views, and I'm like, who the fuck is watching this?
7 views. Let's not get carried away now.
I wrapped it up. Sorry, God, I'm
No,
we can't be inflating our numbers. We're on Amazon. Anyways.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh my god, it's so cute! Look at the pictures! Captain Eamon's Oops All Demons.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
wait.
11 views now.
Chapter
Okay, never mind. I
got
take
11
my
views.
Yeah, see?
What are all these videos?
So that's our campaign with Max, the Old Wood.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait,
Yes.
who's Old?
He's hijacking our channel. We do have a lot of subscribers too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so cute. The story of an angel, an ex-mafioso, and a psychic as they travel the vast land and uncovering the past of one another and secrets of the universe. So cute.
I know, it's Max did a really good job with the channel, and we all have to take it back from Soph though, because I think she put like the banner as just Zin looking confused.
It's just Zin.
Of course she would. I can't believe it. She'll be listening to this later though and be pissed at us.
Dang, wait. I want to sign in so I can see who's subscribed.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can do that with I know that there's a couple repeats. I know like Soap has one that's twice. And then actually that's still a decent amount of people.
Okay, so it's the Minervan Citadel, Running Out of Time, Of Camps and Comeuppance, Tales from the Golden Pony. That's the bar, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And Captain's Oops All Demons. Oh my god, these are so cute. Okay, well, I'll have to be watching these later.
That's I mean, a lot of them are Cameron just refreshing himself before every campaign.
Yeah, pretty much.
Session.
I listened to each one about like twice just to get my bearings again.
Hey Cameron, when you're listening to this again, future Cameron, buy Apple. Buy Apple stock. It'll be good. It'll be good for you.
Why would you tell?
Don't listen to him. It's a trap.
Tell past him that.
It's a trap. So that'll be something nice for you to listen to instead of while you're waiting for your next not another D&D podcast to come out. But I'll get us going real quick on the regular podcast. Oh god, why did I call it a podcast? Anyway, the regular.
Let's just start. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Do it live. Let's go.
Do it live. Yes. The last we left off, Atham had gone with Apollos to meet about specific Antonian politics. Ebb had been kind of ushered in by, surprise, her aunt, who is apparently going to reveal some secrets about her past now that she's feel like she's earned it. Zin and Cyril went to meet with the other higher-ups, being Iman and Lear, in a local church while they were discussing what to do with the town now that it's been decently disinfected, so to speak. But there's debate on what is the proper thing to do now that it has been kind of neutralized, with our cliffhanger being whether or not Zin would order the complete dismantling of the town, or if he would listen to Cyril's more humanitarian pleas to wait and try and purify the water so that the entire town wouldn't be completely uprooted permanently. With that being said, we will go back to Eb, who is still in the cottage on kind of toward the wall of the town, more on the outskirts, and having their little meeting. Oh, you broke your backpack.
I did.
I've done that before. That sucks.
That's rough, buddy.
Staple it.
Thanks. That is rough, buddy.
Yeah. I think the term is
Okay, continue. I'm paying attention.
No, that was pretty much it. In terms of, we'll go back to the cabin right now. It is you and your aunt. She's kneeling down with you. She has just said, I think it's time to tell you about our tribe. And she has revealed that she knows. Sorry, what?
And the ghosts.
And yes, and she revealed that she knew that you had the ability to see ghosts, and she was going to explain why she knew that. So we'll go back and just say she's going to be looking at you and being like, do you think you're ready for this, Eb?
Yes. Eb's totally not ready for it.
With that being said, then she's going to be like, "It's good. You're being brave. I can appreciate that."
I preen a little bit.
She's going to stand up and go over to the fireplace of the little cottage and look at the different little pieces of artwork from whatever family was there, little toys and stuff for the children and some artwork of the family and whatnot. She's going to take a deep breath and sigh. Truth be told, our tribe really wasn't anything of importance until, well, still isn't exactly, but I've learned things since then. When it was just your parents and I and the rest of our little merry band back when things were more peaceful, we didn't really know anything. We just lived as nomads, as many Rhodians do, and just were peacefully living together in our little camp as a family. I remember when you were born, and we were all so happy and I remember your mother giving you that necklace. She points to the one on your pendant, the pendant that you have on you. I believe it was. Or is it a locket, technically? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to go with pendant.
Okay. And she's going to say that we all have little treasures like that in the tribe that we're from. Some of us don't even know how far back. But specifically, I don't know if you've noticed the symbol on it. If you would take a look at it.
Eb picks it up and looks at it, shines it in the light.
The tri-fork or whatever it is, we actually don't really know what it means specifically anymore. We've kind of been lost to time. It's actually the symbol of a tribe called the Karenites.
Cool name.
Yes. Whoever came up with it must have been a genius, but that's besides the point. In general, we used to have something more important in Rhodian society all the way back to Six in the Red. We were given duties that seemed to be like bodyguards and oath keepers, keeping justice. But it kind of got swamped and muddy, and during one of the Great Wars, it seemed everything just kind of vanished about our tribe specifically, almost like we were targeted, but it's hard to say. Many tribes were wiped out in a lot of these wars.
Does Eb know when the great wiping out was?
Not specifically. Eb isn't very educated from what you've said, from what I understand. And
yes.
For reference to ask, you would have heard names, though. And what she's referencing, she's saying that it was actually during one of the wars for the Abyss, is what they were called.
Okay, so she knows it was like back.
It was pretty. This was like thousands of years ago, I believe, if from current day, if I remember my numbers right. And you would know the name, but you don't know much about it. They're just kind of all meld together. We took a little bit more damage as well. We had a few other splinter tribes that also were kind of drafted for the Great War 15 years ago. But for our little one, we were relatively untouched. But after your parents were taken from us and you were taken from us, I went on a long journey and I was inducted into the Rhodian Special Forces, our espionage branch, and I was able to learn a few things that were normally state and the primary tribe's secrets. And she kneels down and she looks at you again and she says, "What I'm about to tell you is something that nobody's really talked about for many years with anyone from our tribe, centuries even. And I know you might not understand it right now, but I'm going to try and do the best I can to give it to you in digestible pieces."
Okay.
Basically, we are wardens and oath keepers and keepers of peace, but not for the living.
Peacekeepers for the dead.
Have you noticed in any of the journeys, the people you've been fighting, a lot of them talk about souls and energy and who claims them and things as such?
Yeah, actually.
There's a reason for that. Lives and deaths and souls and tears, it's energy. It's all energy. There's been wars for things like this for all time. There was, you might not have learned about it, but there was a war in Tempelon against great necromancers who used the dead as armies, and there have been those who have used suicide cults or just plain tried to keep entire communities under their thrall for different otherworldly beings to use them as fuel. And long ago, that's what our tribe acted as, was that we were purifiers, we were guiders, we were guides. We would help. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, this is just me, Reese, being like, "Oh, that's a psychopomp."
What is? I don't know. Actually, I'm not familiar with that.
A psychopomp is normally some sort of spirit or deity that guides the dead.
Is that in Greek mythology?
Yes, but it's used to refer to. It's like a term.
Oh, it's like a term. Okay.
But like, so would be any other. What the Fae take you on in Irish lore sometimes, and they lead you to death. So like, they're psychopomps. Or
as she's gonna point. It's like Boris is actually a psychopop star. In certain in some older tribal lores, that the spirit of your dead animal would guide you to your end, which is still actually a possibility, but it's rarer these days.
As if summoned, I want Boris to like pop up and lie down in front of where the fireplace is.
He does, and does the little thing where he stamps his little feet in a circle, and then he gets and lies down.
Can we also say that ghostly flames appear in the fireplace, so he looks like he's having a good time?
I was actually going to say that, yeah, the ghost of a fire actually appears in front of him and just starts. She's like, "That's weird." Oh no, I'm sorry, Soph. No,
I'm sorry, Soph, but I'm not sorry because Boris is being real cute.
Soph, when you're listening to this after, we actually aren't sad. Screw you.
Yeah, screw you.
Yes, I am plotting the demise of the church as we speak.
The church is actually dead. Atham already killed them all off screen.
The church is
Victory
dead.
is mine.
I converted them all to the cool cat religion. I hope you don't mind, Zin. I figured it'd be better to be a paladin of the cool cat.
Yeah, as soon as you join, it's just a dream sequence.
To It's an anti-bullying app. I'm actually curious as to what would be worse for Soph, whether it was to be completely wiped out or to be converted to either Ebb or Cool Cat worship. It's one of
Ebb
the
worship.
tenets.
Ebb worship would be worse, I think.
It's one
I
of the
think
tenets of the Cool Cat religion is that every adherent must love Ebb.
everyone loves. That's the secret, like font is if you get along with Ebb, you're actually inducted into the Cool Cats. But like you don't know that, but your soul is bound to the Cool Cat.
That's oh god. I'm gonna
Ebb
have to
is
add this to my
actually
note.
secretly converting people. This whole time, she's known about the soul energy and has been using this facade to convert people to a religion to power the Cool Cat.
Here, I'll add this also to lore real quick. Not what you just said, but I'm gonna add the Karenite thing.
I was supposed to be like, damn, yeah. Okay, but yes. Psychopomps. Boris is looking very toasty and cute. Soph is sad, as she should be. Hashtag sorry, not sorry, Soph. And
Yeah, imagine that in class, LMAO.
Scrub. With Boris being sad or being happy, Soph being sad, Ebb listening intently, she's going to say that that's what we would do is that we would ensure that the souls would go to a peaceful rest and fulfill any sort of desires they had on Earth, any unfinished business, any vendettas, if they were to have been wronged very unjustly in their life, we would correct that if they still had strong enough feelings about it, and just basically set things right so that their souls could transfer peacefully over to the afterlife. Sometimes of their choosing, or sometimes it would be into just a neutral zone that I believe in some of the passages I've read. Sometimes it would be for reincarnation. It's hard to understand exactly what it was going to, but there seems to be a strong belief that this was a way to protect the souls of the dead from any unjust fate after they had passed. And we had been given this job by some of the old gods of Rhodia, like the Panther God, the goddess of the hawk, things of those nature. And we had been entrusted with that job, but we've slowly dwindled out.
how come no one talks about this? Is that can everyone in our tribe see the dead?
No, and that's
How
part
do
of
you
it.
know about this? Do we not? Why do we not do? How did I never notice that this was happening? Do people in
Well,
our tribe still guide the dead?
well, that's it. You've been raised apart from us, and I mean, who's to talk about it? The tribe was shattered into pieces centuries ago, and it slowly lost its culture. Rodeo was never really a centralized, and still is barely centralized as a culture or a government, anything, people, and our tribe was never really looked at favorably. Nobody liked those poking around their business, waking the dead, righting wrongs of those who had passed, and just to many causing problems in a certain way. Some of us looked to with us at us with kindness because they believed that we were taking care of their ancestors, but those were few and far between. And eventually, nobody left to remember the old ways. It just slowly lost its culture, and there were a few periods of rediscovery during some of the more peaceful times in TRC, but it just slowly had faded until we got to where we are. But to answer your question about the dead, um, many of us can't. It would be a few. It would be a scant few in the tribe who would act as kind of leaders and interpreters to help take different tribal members to see the dead and understand what was wrong with them. Um, your eyes have had this gift for a long time, and in fact, we didn't know until you had left. When I had been observing you and I had read reports, I had infiltrated some of the Black Hands hideouts and things like that. I had seen what they were reporting. Your the higher ups knew, but they didn't really have any designs on it as far as I could tell, or maybe they did.
Was that why? Is that why my parents were killed and I was taken away?
She shakes her head and she kind of looks down and she says, I'm sorry. I tried to figure out, trust me, I tried to find why my sister and my brother were killed like this, but I I don't know. And that's partly why I didn't tell you at the beginning, is I didn't know if it was because of your gift or if it was because of our tribe or it was just some random act of violence. I don't know.
Eb
But
is seething with anger and just so like she's mad. She's real mad. She wants to go find and step on the hand.
wow, that's quite the image right there. Foot to hand style.
Yeah.
Um she's gonna look at
Cool.
you sadly and say, I'm sorry that I didn't tell you earlier. I didn't know if I could trust you, but I think you've showed that you're ready to do what's right and to be one of us.
I've spoken with the dead a couple times.
You have? That's wonderful. Do you
I
remember
think
when?
I think I released two of them.
Wow.
We had
That's
been
incredible.
yeah, they one of them was an actress who had been uh out of character murdered. Her role was stolen. Her husband was
She
adulterated.
she was murdered. You solved
She
her
was,
murder.
yeah. And she had been murdered. That's what happens. But she reached out for my necklace, and there was a flash, and I think she was gone.
It sounds
It
like
happened
you did what
before
was
that.
right.
It happened before that too, with a young. Oh wait, no, that was a memory. That was the memory of Fast Dog.
Well, I mean, you could say that that was another part of it. You did get to see that partly because that was partly you and Atham with the whole like seeing the past thing, but that was still partly because of you.
Yeah, and then uh, down in the Underdark when we pulled up the past with Morcella and all of those who had been there before, or with Atham again.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's a lot of souls wandering around down there that have had horrible
So
ends. The I will say that I want to make sure it's understood. What you see and what he sees, your friend Atham, is different. He has a different ability that I'm sure he'll tell you when it is his time to explain properly, but he is not the same as what you can see. Only those of our tribe and a few others in documented history have been able to, but it sounds like you were doing what was right even when I wasn't watching you.
nah, I just yeah, I'm a pretty good person.
Yeah. Something more badass than doing what's right.
Oh, sounds weird when you say badass.
Yeah. It's, it's showing that you're becoming a good person. You don't like cursing as much anymore.
I fucking love cursing. I mean, yeah, yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe that was a stretch too far. Well, let me
I crack
back
open
up.
a chain lightning.
Okay, all right.
I offer one, so I answer.
Okay, yeah, sure. I could use
I
a little
like
something
tip
to
the
take the edge
bottle in
off.
her direction.
It's like, yeah, I could use something to take the edge off. I'll take.
I pass her the chain lightning. I go, no, this one puts the edge on,
Oh, I see.
visibly vibrating.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the good buzz.
the
She's
good
like,
one.
her hand is literally buzzing right now.
Yeah.
Um, so she goes, you were given this gift, and it sounds like you've been using it appropriately, but it. Well, she's gonna take a second, take a swig of the chain lightning, and toss it back to you. Um, she's going to say, um, now that you know more of the truth, you've been with your friends through a lot of the world. You've done a lot of growing these past few months. What do you think you want, Ab? Because I can get you out of this if you want. I can take you to a place you won't be harmed. I can find you a temporary home until whatever's going on calms down. And maybe I can join
No.
you after.
I mean, no, thank you. I have something I need to finish. And I'm going to get to the bottom of whatever happened to my parents and why it happened. And then I'm going to make that man pay for everything he's done.
She takes a deep breath and she says, I understand. And I'll do my best to help you when I can and try and keep you on the right path while I do it. But uh, as I'm sure you've seen, it'll have to be more from the shadows, considering that's where I do most of my work.
Yeah, Ab laughs a little and was like, yeah, they are the best place to be.
Yeah, yeah. I saw you in the fight in the tunnels, hiding and stuff and stabbing people. Good job. Good job.
Yeah,
I am totally a Shadows fan too,
Yeah. What about that time were you following way back when and I was hiding behind the bonfire so they couldn't see me in the darkness?
Oh yeah. That was pretty sick. I gotta say.
I
I
was
was like, damn, I wrote that one down.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good. I felt pretty smart.
So, like, that was worthy of I think a messenger of Cool Cat, she says.
Eb looks flattered.
She's going to say that I think that it would be good if we were able to do some of your work now. And she's going to take you into the other room, um, which has something on a table covered in cloth, like a big cloth sheet, and it looks like a body. Um, it's pretty clearly a body. And she's going to say that I came to this town too late to really stop any of the worst of what happened, and there are plenty of debates on whether or not the Church of Purity did what was right or wrong. I can't really comment, but sometimes they go too far, and there's plenty of people who could use some sort of peace of mind more than the church can give them. Um, so I want to see if we can at least start with this woman. You don't have to do everybody here, but I think that we should at least try and give the woman who allowed us to use her house as safe harbor something back in return.
Goes up, and I'm assuming the sheet's over her body.
Are you gonna go what? And what
I'm
to the
just gonna go up and just like pull the sheet down to see the woman's face.
um you see her face. It's a similar but not exactly looking old lady, um who she has a peaceful look on her face right now. She's obviously been a little dressed up by her aunt in terms of like closed her eyes, put her hands across her chest. She looks peaceful, but you can tell there's some dried blood here and there, and that she probably was killed in the night, and that there's a slight bit of infected flesh on her left side. And she's going to say that your aunt's going to put her hand on your shoulder, and she's going to say, "It was a shame. She didn't even resist when they came for her. She had drank too much of the tainted water and was starting to turn, and she accepted her fate. But I think she still has family somewhere in here, so maybe we could try and commune with her spirit."
Yeah. Eb is nodding, very solemn. This is serious business. But she takes out the pendant to see if anything happens with the woman.
Um, as you do that, it glows a little bit, and your eyes glow in response.
Thank
Um,
you.
and there's a little bit of like green wispy smoke that starts to come from you and circles around the body. And as it does, a spectral imprint of her kind of rises up a little bit from the corpse. And um, she just looks at you and says, "Oh, well, hello, dearie.
Hi, Grandma.
Hi, how are you? Would you like a gumdrop?"
Um, Eb's gonna shake her head 'cause she doesn't know if she can eat ghostly gumdrops. Just like, no, Grandma. But um, I wanted to I wanted to ask you if you had any last requests.
Well, yes, I understand why the Church of Purity had to do what it did, and I accept my fate. I've lived a long and good life. But I wanted to ask if you could look out at least to see and make sure if my granddaughter was okay. That's all I need to know before I can pass. In the confusion of last night, I lost them, and I just want to at least know what happened to them in case anything did. Then I can rest peacefully.
Do you know what they look like, or do you have a photo? Are photos a thing? Do you have a oh God, what is
There's
the
Maddie
rock
that
thing?
they have they have we'll say they call them photos. They're not exactly what we think of them, but they're like magical renditions, I forget what the psychic thing is called, but like pictography or something like that. Um
Nice.
that like gives a rough kind of sketch, like somewhat of a sketch, somewhat of a photo, something in between of you, and you can see that it's a young half orc child, around like 8 to 10, um, who is just just looks like a good kid, young little girl.
Eb tries to memorize the picture and looks back up and is like, I'll find her for you.
Thank you.
I'll I'll make sure she's okay.
Bless your old child. And she slowly walks down to her body and reincorporates with it. And there's kind of a slight like chill in the air and a gust, and you are left alone with your aunt. And she says, "Ab, that was amazing. Um, it's been so long since I've been able to. I've heard about it, I've read about it, but to see something of our tribe like this in person is crazy."
Well, I guess we all have secrets.
That we do. Well, let's see if we can find them. We can search the village around and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
I guess you guys will head out, and we can switch over to Atham for a
mhm.
second here. Um, so Atham, you and Apollos kind of go into what it looks like an empty tavern. Um,
Yeah, I'm doing some psychic scans and flying around a scrying eye just to make sure no one's around.
you
And
seem
also
pretty empty
perceiving
here.
the unseen so that there's no one hiding on the roof.
Yeah, nobody's assigned any sort of guard to you or anything like that. You still aren't, at least to the people who are here from the church. Nobody seems to be what's it called to you? Nobody seems to be on to you too much. Um, the Apollos kind of looks around as well, does his own checks, and saddles up at the bar and says, "I've got the list that you wanted from Gideon. King Gideon.
Yes, I read it over. Good job.
He pulls it out, slides it
Oh,
over
I
to
thought I
you.
already had it.
Well, you mean you already have it effectively, but I
No, I
just.
thought he gave it to me right
Oh
before we
yeah,
got
earlier.
to
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you have the dossier. Um, and with that, besides all of that, I've been told to give you a report on some of these situations as well. Um, your project with the capital is going all right. We've been able to get some builders around. We've been able to talk to some agents within the Antonian Secret Service and some of the guild, Architect Guild. Um, but there is a slight snag. Um, for some of the specifications that you mentioned and for the ultimate end of the project, as you and Gideon seem to be aiming for, he's sent along a message that we're going to need um, a power source of some kind that is independent from the rest of the any religion, given that we want to make sure that this is God proof, especially from the Church of Purity. We want to make sure that no one can access it with common magic, things like that. And with that being the case, for some of the wards, the runes, and all that, it can't be done with just magic, or at least Gideon doesn't think it would be up to your specifications if we used a lot of the normal enchantments and runes using basic magic.
He's correct. Well, I have an idea about that, but we're not quite there yet. Continue along at pace. The runes don't matter for now, at the moment. All that matters is the physical structure. I'll deal with this power source.
All right. As long Gideon wanted me to pass along the message, so I passed it along. Besides that, he also wanted to give me to give you a status update in terms of the um, situation within the world as it stands, given the assassination of the Empress a while back and the calling of the summit. Uh, the date has been put. It's going to be in 2 weeks at the Flower Isles. The Lords have decided on it.
All right.
Gideon himself is going to go, and his daughter, as the avatar of the Cult of the Moon, is going to have to attend as well as part of just the political posturing, I believe. Beyond that, um, the in terms of Antanya, the royal houses are of the inner basin of Antanya are behind King Gideon 100%. He has their loyalty. A lot of the architects a lot of the guilds are not. They're slippery as always. They're looking for any opportunity to attain more power from the lords, as well as the Bone Isles, as always, are planning some form of independence or higher autonomy as usual. So we've got a bit of fracturing potential there. Oros has been subject of many inquiries given their assassination attempt on Gideon, or supposed assassination attempt on Gideon. Um, it seems that some of the royal family, at least from what our spies can tell, wasn't in on it, and the hold on, let's make sure I get his names. Artax Darksteel is not as bellicose as he was before, so that is a bit of a curveball. He's being more even keeled than one would think if he was the one who had set up this sort of assassination attempt. He is the current de facto leader of Oris right now, given that he is the one with the most experience and control of the military, but the other nobles are squabbling over who has the proper succession to the empress. So until that's decided, he's basically the head to speak to.
Right.
And at probably the worst possible time, the Rhodians have called another great gala, which is probably not a great time. Ab, you might know this real quick. I will put this as an aside,
Yeah.
I guess, to mention this to our viewers. The Great Gala is a
Our 7 viewers, yay!
yay. Yeah, since you're part Rhodian, or you are Rhodian, you might have
Yeah.
heard this when you were young. It's basically how the leaders of Rhodia are decided. It's basically like a giant festival sort of a thing that acts as both a contest, election, and like congressional summit all in one. Um, so when one of these
Oh,
is
yeah.
called, it's usually a change in leadership that's quite it's like an earthquake sized change in political landscape for Rhodia.
I'm getting like a Greek Olympics vibe off of this, where it's a festival but also super political.
Yeah, that's partly kind of what it is as well. It's a lot of stuff that goes on there. So that's been called. They haven't decided on a date yet, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
And Tempelon, I haven't had as much time as I would like, considering I was rushing to you guys to make sure that I could get these messages across. But the church has been making moves, especially with their their I guess as you saw, their church, one of their golden children, one of the Azamars was almost assassinated. Which they can't seem to figure out why, but I don't know what the response seems to be with it. They're speeding up their whole ceremony process for the sealing ceremony as well.
Yes, that makes sense.
I guess they're a bit shaken by all this.
Right. I forget. Is Apollos part of the Golden Order, or is he just working for Gideon?
Um, de facto, he is. He hasn't been inducted by you personally, but he's like Gideon is, so he is. If that makes sense, like he hasn't probably been brought in the inner circle. He knows what it is. He carries a symbol on him, and
Okay, yeah.
he's fine with it. He doesn't. He's like he does his job for Antanya, and he knows what the Golden Order is, but he doesn't need to know more than that. He's like not ambitious in that sense.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I was planning on dealing with the power source soon. I can get that moving quicker. Only 2 weeks isn't really enough time, but I guess there's no more delays. Put.
Well, it's not guaranteed that war will break out. Some summits historically have lasted for months, if not years. It depends, although I will say that was when some of the leadership was a bit more ineffective, shall we say, in centuries past, obviously.
Right.
But we are trying our best, and there will be fortification should anything happen. But we've been scouring for that cult as well that was doing the ceremony, and we found traces here and there. But we did do some cross-referencing, and they are not associated with the Minervans, actually.
Yeah, that tracks. Right. Do you have any information on Church of Purity upper leadership? What they're up to right now? Are they attending the summit?
They're going to send a representative. They haven't picked out who yet. It's either going to be their head paladin of the Azamars, one of the Azamars order that, as you would probably know, with Sin is part of that. The of the Illuminated Heart, or it might be the High Father of Purity himself, Alexandrius, I believe his name is. That's me kind of saying that. What's it called? Unsurely, Apollos would know, but I'm pretty sure that Soap and I decided that his name is going to be Alexandrius.
Right. Okay. So it's okay. So that needs to be settled then. All right. Okay. No other moves from the church outside of Tempelon?
Well, they've seemed to be trying to maneuver a little bit with the Erosian political games. Basically, it's been a little tenuous Atarax was never a fan of the church, obviously, as I'm sure you know, but and the Empress was kind of neutral, but some of the current candidates are big into the church. They're very devout Puritans. Um, so they've been trying to shore up support that they can in the other noble houses on the Oros side. I know that there was one report that mentioned that the 1 second that the Iron Mountain side of Oros in the western half has been there's been some unrest, and they have recalled some of their cardinals from that section for unknown reasons, but I'm not exactly sure why.
Right, more problems to deal with. Okay. Right.
Well, is there anything you would want me to?
I was about
if
to
I
get
haven't-
to that. Yeah.
Okay.
This might take a little while, but we're gonna have to find out who's capable of helping us or not. I want you to find me in the action reports on all the currently operating Asimar. I want to find out how many of them have been involved in purges like this. I need to know which ones might be redeemable.
Okay. That is doable. So I'll say out of character right now that if you can get until Apollos shows up again, and if he survives the next current arc that he's going to be with you. Oh, this is of course given that. He is probably Antanya's best agent in terms of investigation, intelligence gathering, and covert missions. So if you want to give him, I'll let you give him one directive. Are you sure that you want it to be this? Not second guessing you, not saying this is a bad choice. I'm just making sure that you understand that you can get him to do, like he can investigate one of the things I was talking about, or one of the things that you think of. So if you want to do this, he can.
All right, yeah, delegate that to lower operatives. In fact, just tell it to Gideon. Gideon can manage that. Yeah, I want you to head to Oros next. That's our next target as well. If you can give me something to prepare for the political landscape there, that'd be most helpful.
All right, I can do that. Given how fractured everything is, I do think that it would be prudent to see where everybody lies. I'm still not entirely sure that the assassination was. I guess we don't even know who did it, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of the other factions in Oros did it to just try and seize the throne.
A valid theory.
I'll get on that as soon as I can. While we're talking about all of this politics, I did want to check in. I've checked in with Cameron before, but Reese, I wanted to ask, in terms of like the overarching story so far, now that I feel like more things are set up and functioning, do you do you think like it's making sense, or do you feel like there's so much going on that it's kind of getting convoluted and like you don't see what's happening? Because like it's totally fine if, especially for somebody like Eb, if you're just focused on the Black Hand stuff. I think that's been clear enough, hopefully. But
Yes, Reese, myself, especially after hearing this, I have a pretty good idea of what's happening, and I like learning all of this. Eb is a dummy and very thick-headed, so I'm like gonna try and sparse it in, but she's not really gonna know what's going on.
that's fine. I mean, the two. I mean, Atham and Zin are both more of like the political people, but I was hoping, like, I know with these political sort of like this was always supposed to be like a political sort of campaign, and I'm happy that now that we've got more stuff set up, it's starting to work better in my opinion. But I know it was very confusing at first because I felt like there wasn't a lot of clear direction for people, like why do you care about this, or why should people care about this? So now that we've gotten more involved, I hope it's making more sense.
No, it's making a lot of sense, and I enjoy listening about the political struggle that's happening.
Good. So sorry to take away from your time there, Atham. So Apollo's just given you the report. He's given you the document, which, to be fair to everyone else, since Atham spies on everyone, we can also. Do you want to tell them what the document was, or do you want to just? you want
Isn't
to leave
this
it
the
for?
sheet of all of the gods, right?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
shit!
that's it.
I'm surprised you remember that. I like forget stuff until I look at my notes for a while. I'm surprised that you remember.
Mine like a steel trap.
Damn, I'm impressed.
There you go.
I'm trying to
No
mouth
need.
swearing instead now because people can hear me.
Oh, you're in a college dorm. I'm sure nobody cares.
Oh yeah, no one would care, but I feel silly.
Aw. So yeah, do you want to ask anything else of Apollo? So there is other things if you want to check out.
Yeah. Well, we're on kind of a church bender at the moment. Do you know anything about the church in this part of Tempelon?
Yes. One real quick.
Boom. He's been
Oh,
kidnapped.
no. I'm still here. I'm just typing something.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Got him.
It's
I
been
said
so serious.
we're.
We haven't had many quotes.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Well, I mean, this has been kind of an exposition-heavy thing. I'm sorry about that, but I was trying to get stuff done before.
Oh no, it's
you have to
good.
go.
Lore.
Fine, I'll
I
change
can
it to weird
plan
later.
more. Doesn't matter. It's fine this way.
So he's going to say yes. So, I'll go over the basics that we both know and anything special I've learned recently. So Tempelon, because of the fact that it was saved in large part by the church during the Necromancer Wars, the Plague Wars, it has special authority here, where Tempelon is usually more of a secular or at least a pragmatist society when it comes to using magic and even sort of enchantments, holy magic, how it studies magic even, and religion. It has been given a wide berth to have a lot of extra protections here that it doesn't normally get, but it still has a degree of separation from the main part of the church, where there is actually a patriarch or matriarch in Tempelon and Nusantur that presides over the relations between the church and the country to make sure that they are doing all right. Because Nusantur itself isn't a very religious country, but it does allow for this religion to operate on its soil because it doesn't have much protection from certain threats like demons, corruption. Without it, science doesn't seem to do very well when dealing with it. There is a kind of theological split in the sense that now, because of that, the patriarch or matriarch of Nusantur becomes a bit separated from the high father or mother of purity due to the fact that they kind of have their own kingdom here. So it's generally a bit more split, and it's generally not liked, but it's, again, a pragmatic use of the religion. And for example, there isn't really a lot of science magic that is as science-based magic that is as effective at sealing as the Puritans are. So that is part of the reason. In terms of recently, I know that the current father or the current patriarch of Nusantur, Timaeus, is not a known fan of, well, for the church, he's not a known fan of the current High Father, Alexandrius. He's not outspoken about it, but he just isn't as vocal of his support as you would normally expect of other higher ups. So that is a bit concerning, I guess, if you were the High Father. And he was a known supporter of Luce at first, but they did distance themselves recently with some of Luce's more radical viewpoints.
Right. Okay.
Other than that,
All right. But this contingent here seems to be coming from Tanya. How did that happen?
sorry, wait. Could you repeat that?
Iman's from Atania, right?
Iman is not necessarily from Intanya, actually. So he. Well, why is he here? Is basically what you're asking. How it works is at least from what Soph and I have worked out so far. I will speak on this as best as I can. Um, Paladins and other like high level like users of purity magic and other sort of higher ups are taken to an island that the Church of Purity owns. That is like their island. That is like their Vatican City. It's not huge, but it's still a decently sized island. Think of like, I don't know, maybe Martha's Vineyard-esque size is what we'll say. Um, and with that being said, they will go there when they're children. They'll get trained, and then they'll be dispatched around the world. So Iman, Zin, and Torin were in Antanya to do certain missions because there was reports of corruption in the area. The reason Iman is here is because he got his chains at around the same time as Zin, and he was given a special mission to kind of investigate corruption since Zin was taking care of the stuff in Antanya, if that makes sense. He was just dispatched to go do something else.
Okay.
Okay. He will say, now that you mention it, there was a couple of towns in the far north of Tempelon that have been cut off contact that nobody's really heard from in weeks, which is not necessarily unusual, but there was a fishing village up there, I think, that was specifically no one's seen since.
Far north. All right.
Lori, I think it was called.
What was it called?
Lori.
Lori. Okay. I don't suppose that rings a bell for me and anything. I'm drawing a blank if that's supposed to sound familiar.
Well, there was a charismatic pirate that went missing up there. Remember, you're with the one shot?
Oh,
Oh
I
my
thought that was in
God.
the south.
No, that was in the far north. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a Caribbean-esque island. Okay. Yes. All right. Cool.
Well, actually,
Right.
it was.
Mayor of Lori. Right. Yeah.
There you go. The thing was, it was more of a town based on like H.P. Lovecraft and what's his name, Stephen King in the like kind of in Maine-ish area. So that was more of what I was basing it on, like
Okay.
a foggy fishing village is what I had in mind at least.
Okay. Gotcha. Right. Okay. Well, that's. Oof. I don't know. If you can get someone up there, check it out. If not, low priority. Unless more towns go quiet up there.
Let's see what I can do about that.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'm going to next contact the Golden Order in Oros. So beyond the power source, give me a percentage completion rate on the project in the south.
In terms of completion, I would say
Completion is the wrong word. Give me usability.
well, I'll tell you what. That would be a good way to put it. Physical fortifications have been bolstered. They would be usable in the case of an attack. We've collected a lot of useful magic users, and we've had a lot of temporary enchantments, you could say, put up. And we are starting to. We've made some progress on the research you wanted on how to kind of connect it to the other side, as it was put to me, to have a gateway. But without the power source, it's always going to be just 90% complete. With it, it would speed up generally, as I'm sure you're aware, but just saying.
Yeah, no, that's good to remind me about that. That is something I've been meaning to speed up. And okay, what about recruitment? I mentioned that to Gideon not too long ago, but that will need to begin at some point.
Well, we've put in requests for draft numbers in terms of the countryside for the main force in the army, but we were careful to announce that again, especially 15 years after what happened last time, that might cause riots. In terms of recruitment, we know that some of your agents have been approaching people worldwide, but responses are going to be slow on the trickling in of that.
That's fine. Okay, as long as this trickling has started, we're aiming for about 10,000, but that is best case scenario.
With that being said, there was one more thing. There was a Golden Order personnel who was able to make contact with apparently a recent inductee into your order in New Xanter, a scholar by the name of Jens.
Yes, he's the one I'm going to be approaching about the power resource.
Yes, he said that he had some discoveries that he wished to discuss with you should any of us meet up with you for your ears only.
Excellent. All right. Okay, good. One more thing you can send back. Specifications. You're aware of the necromancy spell clone?
I believe I am decently so, although it's been a bit restricted in that recent.
Yeah, no, I need a tank of the specifications for the spell built. It could be a bit smaller, but just get it something roughly up to the specifications required. I'll deal with actually getting the necessary magical bits, but
okay.
Yeah.
I will make a note of that, and I shall give it to King Gideon.
Send that. I think that's all I had. Unless there's anything pressing on your mind.
No, I believe that should be all for the report, sir. Also, just out of character, are you going to get what's his name? Albus? No.
Aldris.
Aldris.
Oh, he won't help me.
I was going to say
he doesn't. Max never helps me.
I was going to say, if you're going to get him to use necromancy magic. I was going to point out, you know that necromancy is like a big taboo in this world, as I've mentioned, kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Just going to sacrifice somebody.
You know that Atham made it a taboo at some point, and then was like, fuck, wait, that's useful. And now he can't get rid of it.
That would be funny, but I will say
I was reading a book when that happened. True story, it's in the lore.
He was stuck in a really good book.
I was, I missed an entire century of political strife.
I can imagine just like the cutscenes of like horrific battle and murdering, and then you cut to Atham like sitting by the fireplace as people run outside his window screaming, and he's just like reading this really long scroll in a different language, maybe, so he's like translating it while he does it. And like
the book was at least a meter thick.
It's him like sipping his tea.
Hello there.
And then like so you can see the screaming and yelling in the background as he reads his scroll with his glasses like half moon all the way down his nose. And it just goes on like that for like 3 minutes straight, and I would watch that. And like there would be like the close calls, but then he would like someone would like slam into the window right as he bends down to like pick something up so he doesn't, be great.
It kind of reminds me of like Shaun of the Dead in a way, where he's just kind of oblivious to all this stuff. That's basically Atham in apparently the century that or maybe not century, but however long I put the Plague Wars for happening.
Yeah. He was busy.
Yeah, Cameron really did just say in the lore that he was busy during this time. It didn't help out, which is fine. I'm glad that he's willing to say
he's around for every major political event.
Yes, that's true. And of course, if the church had a big the church had a big win there.
What I missed?
Good question. You'll have to find out next time.
Yeah. This is the thing that sucks about this. I come in and then I can't really I don't know what's happening, and then I have to ask you guys to recap.
No worries, you'll see now.
To be fair, I don't know. Were you able to listen to the last episode on YouTube? That's fine.
Because I think Max uploaded it today, in the middle of the day. I had classes back to back to back to back.
I think Yeah, he put it up last night, so it was
You
it wasn't a lot
did.
of time.
I was studying. My
No,
bad.
no. I'm not saying that like, hey, he put it up.
Disgraceful.
He actually put it up last night, asshole. You're wrong. I was just saying it because like, yeah, you got a point there. So sorry about that.
I also like don't know coming in because it's not already like recorded and put together like what's happening.
No. You're right. And what I was going to say is, basically, we got some backstory on Eb and her aunt. We got some politicking with Atham, but thankfully, this all was. You don't have to worry about it because it's not. You all kind of went off and did your own thing.
Okay,
Hey,
cool.
there's good old more. Um, the
Climax.
the you did. Everybody was doing their own thing, so you're not missing out on too much. I will say this though, Eb, or Reese, I know you have to go soon. I'm sorry.
I'll be here for a little bit because I've started recapping my notes while this is happening in the background. So I'm
Oh,
still like
perfect.
half here. I'll be here for a bit until I realize like I gotta get down to business.
Okay. But I was gonna say while we've got everybody here, and it will torture our poor one viewer if we have somebody who's listening who's not part of our group. Um, to be fair to Soph, do we want to do next week on Tuesday so that way it's Atham who has to come late and then Soph can be here early?
Yes.
I will
I mean,
be much later though. Just
to be
Yeah,
fair,
and
yeah. Jesus.
oh,
Yeah.
I'll be
Uh,
getting here at
we can
like
figure it out.
5
I
Eastern
feel like
time.
we should.
So
Maybe we should discuss this later.
all right, fine.
yeah,
Audio. I just don't want to clog up the audio and waste Reese's time because it's
Yeah,
my
you're right.
precious
this is
time where I
true.
have
Let's keep
All
rolling.
right, we'll keep the thing going. Screw you guys. I'm trying to actually have us decide ahead of time
Yeah.
once. Okay, so um, Atham just got done, I think, politicking with Apollos. They were off doing their own meeting. Eb was talking to her aunt. Long story short, um, the tribe is called the Karenites in for Eb, that the one with the trifork thing. I'm gonna let Eb name the symbol at some point.
I
Or
think
Reese, I
Ab's
guess.
probably gonna call it the big fork and her aunt is gonna like groan. Oh my god, I'm gonna call it a forchetta.
Oh,
Because
that's
that just
nice.
is how you say fork in Italian, but it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
The economy is in
It is in
shambles.
shambles. That's great. And then we're gonna go back to you actually with your decision. I know your favorite thing to do is we're gonna get right back to it is making decisions. And there's no easy solution to this one. I know you're gonna try and say we could wait a bit, do this or that, but no, you guys got to leave soon. And Lear is going to recap. He's going to be like, "This is your first test as a leader of the church." Iman's going to be, "No, this is my command." Lear's going to stare him down and say,
That's me.
Stinky
personally,
boy.
"Lear."
But
Lear's going to look at him and say, "Iman, do not speak out of turn again. You know the rules, as is the doctrine put down by the High Father. It
yeah.
is the highest ranking member of the church, is the one to take over command of all activities, especially military, of the current command. And this troop is under your command now, but since we arrived, it is now under ours." And so he's going to look over at Zin and he's going to say, "And thus under yours, Zin." This is what it means to be an Asmar. You have to decide the death and life of entire villages, peoples, countries.
How many people remain in the village that we know of?
Iman's going to grunt. I believe that's left is between 50 and 80 people out of a village of 2 to 400 was our last estimate.
And how many of those do we know have any infection?
Well, we confirmed at least 50 cases during the purge. Hard to tell who has fled at times and who has become a beast. In the ones currently, we would have to go to the triage station and assess. But some people's taint might not become apparent until days or maybe a week after we leave here.
Well, considering we're on a time crunch, and it's no guarantee that we'll be able to quickly purify the source. I think we have to do what we always do. I say, give the people who seem healthy enough or are compliant enough with the church some notice and help escort them out of the town, and then there's no point in 50 people living in a town that wants to just burn it down. They can take refuge somewhere nearby. We can't risk this infection spreading.
Well, Cyril's going to speak of, but Zin, the 50 people that's just in who's here now. We don't know how many fled and how many died. And this could mean refugees. This could mean people losing their homes that they've lived in their entire lives.
This could also mean infection spreading to more people. Sacrifices must be made. If they are contaminated, this whole world can turn to darkness and spread. We have to nip it in the bud. We do not have time to purify the water unless you can do it now within a few hours. But I don't think it'll be probable. We don't have enough of your order here, and we're not even entirely sure if we did clear out all of the black goop from the Underdark.
But we are a day and a half's ride from New Xantar. There is a outpost of my brothers in the clerics of the Church of Pure Water. I might be able to solve this, or one of them might be able to. If it's like you said, it's like Elon said. If there is those that seem healthy enough already aren't going to turn until a few days, a week maybe, and if we let those go or let others go, there's already been refugees. We've seen them packing on the trail when we were getting here. If we quarantine them here, we can monitor their health, and we can see if it would be possible to cleanse the water. If we can't, then I think maybe we do have to cull them. But there can be a chance.
How long does the chance take? We have how many days until the sealing ceremony? I need you with me there. I can't leave you behind here.
Can't leave you behind. No. Don't let go, Jack. Sorry.
Choices.
Cyril's like, I've waited so long to hear him say that, but not like this. Not like this.
Never like this.
Oh boy, this is interesting. Lear's gonna pipe in and say the sealing ceremony is basically as soon as possible. They're waiting for us to return so that they can have two Azamars guarding it.
Yeah. So with the recent events concerning that bastard Luceng, we can't take any risks of ruining or tarnishing the church's reputation. We can't expend too many forces on one village of a few people. I wish we had more time. Say if you wanted, but we just don't, and matters need to be taken. This is my duty as someone of the church. I have to take responsibility for it, and I don't have time to worry about the lower members and less holy people of the world.
Us holy. Okay.
Lower members? There are flocks in. They're The angels were brought here to protect them, these people. He's gonna say, Lear's gonna say, enough, cleric. The decision has been made.
We are protecting more by calling these. It hurts me as one of the holy ones to see my people, or those who should be respect, who are deserving of my and my fellow Asimar's kindness, have to suffer the consequences. Act like we have to stop this before it can spread. You understand we don't have time, and the church's reputation and the good name of our whole organization is under threat if we do not defend the sealing ceremony. It's just how it has always been and how it needs to remain.
It's Cyril's going to look at you and he's going to say, just going to shake his head a little bit, and he's going to say, well, this lesser being is going to have to go for a walk. The air's a little choking in here.
Wait, Cyril?
Cyril says that, yeah. And
That's sad. Well,
Iman scoffs a little bit, and Lear turns to him and he says, I think it would be best if it was just the Azamars for a second, Captain. And points him out to the door. Yeah. Well, joyous decision, brothers. May the angels bless us, he says very dryly as he walks out. Lear's going to turn to Zin and he's going to say,
proud of me, right? He's proud of me, right? He would do this.
He's going to be like, wow, what I've done now. He's going to say, I think you're making the right call. Let's give the fellows a minute before we decide to tell everyone. We're going to have to decide on what to do with those who remain. But also, roll me an insight check, dude.
I wanted to play the nice guy, but I had insight check. Okay. I always check, but my insight is always bad. I have a +4 for insight. Okay. 11!
Well, you can tell that Cyril didn't like that. How much? Yeah. It's a bit of a mystery.
Cyril sad. Oh, he doesn't know these people. Why does he care?
Oh wait, did that not show up?
Yeah, you have to click on it, but it's weird. You have to like save it to your computer first and then send it. Save it as an image. Don't try and copy it directly from the web browser.
Well, I actually didn't. That was from the Tenor machine thing, and
so that's a bit weird then.
Here, I'll just do this.
So Max, I think you can cut this part out.
What the fuck? All right. Anyway, so
no, this part is the only part that you can listen to.
Well, short episode. Good job, everyone. We're done here.
We've done it. We've saved the village. Everyone burns it down. I would find it really hilarious if you all three decided to just become bloodthirsty and burn the village down for separate reasons when I'm trying to make a little bit of a moral gradient here.
I have not expressed the desire to burn down the village. Hello.
We just don't have time. I was trying to think of like what Zin would have to do in this situation, considering Lear's there, Yvonne's there.
Yeah.
That's just
like I would be evil, but there's so much going on. I can't start burning down houses yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're going on the upswing. I don't know what you're talking about being evil.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, Reese, you know,
Ev thinks she's evil.
I really think she's evil, but she's too good.
Ev really wants to be evil. She tries her hardest, and then I feel bad.
just replace Ebb with Reese, and that sentence is correct. You want it to be an evil character, but you don't have the heart for it. You're too nice to be.
I would be so good at being evil.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No. I was saying too. Ebb is Morcello put Ebb as the least evil at PC in the party, which is true, in my opinion. So I guess I'm trying to think of who would be good to put next year. I think I'm gonna leave, unless since you're studying Ebb, I'll let you. We can we pick up your thing next week. We'll have that kind of be the cliffhanger.
Always
for
have
your
Atham
character.
run into Cyril.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that was what I was gonna do next, guy. God, you're
There we
pushing
go.
your
Let's see.
limits.
It's well planned then, if it makes sense.
Well, I was gonna do it. I just wanted to make sure that Ebb was realized what was going on. So yeah, basically, the church is in the square. The way, and then along with the fountain or like the pump for the wells is in the square, sort of like Daisy. And then for you, that was a reference for you, Cameron. And then the bar is kind of like on the street, just on the street that starts to go out of the main square.
You're giving me
So-
flashbacks, Ben. It's not good. It's triggering my PTSD.
So Cyril is going to be. Cyril is going to check out the fountain for a little, or the pump for a little bit. You're going to see Iman walk by. I mean, we could say that you just give me a perception check real quick. I want to see how much you can sense. We'll use your perception check to see how much emotion you sense with your psychic.
Perception, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good roll.
Animosity.
I feel the animosity.
Animosity.
That's pretty good. 26. Oh, sorry, 27.
Yeah. So Iman is pissed, but he's more disgruntled than anything. He seems to be walking with a purpose, though. You can tell that he's kind of set in his purpose. You feel Cyril is having a very big whirlwind of emotions right now of faith, crisis.
Dang, I wanted it to be in italics.
It's the stars,
Yeah.
not tilde.
There we go.
Faith, betrayal, conflict, sympathy, dread. He is just feeling a bunch of things. A little bit of hope as he's kind of like working with the pump. And you can tell that there has been a decision. I think you can piece together that there's been a decision on the fate of the village that he's not happy with.
Atham already put together what the fate of the village is going to be as soon as there was 20 armored paladins in town.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. No, this was inevitable. All right. How's it going, buddy?
I'm assuming you walk up to.
Yeah, I'm walking up.
Okay.
Everything good?
Atham. Well, it's good. Can I be honest with you?
Good. Please.
Yeah. It's not going well right now, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, it does seem like the church has become a bit more progressive in its old age. I mean, before, the purge wouldn't have even stopped.
Oh, not exactly what I was hoping to hear right now. But let me ask you something. You seem like somebody who's got some wisdom to him.
I've been around the block.
Did you ever do something that hurt your heart to do?
Cyril doesn't hear this, but like Astral Atham, like fucking chokes on water or something. Laughing.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
How do you know the ones that are worth it from the ones that aren't worth it?
Well, if depends on the situation entirely, but if you want to take a very analytical approach, um, yes, best way to figure out what you is well.
Do you want to? You can
Okay,
pause
do
for a
you
second
want
to-
an emotional? Do you want an emotional analysis of this, or do you want just a numbers analysis? Because numbers analysis very easy to do. Doesn't always sit great.
Emotional,
but,
man.
Emotional.
He's asking Cyril this.
No, I know he's
There's
asking
two-
Cyril this, but this is a very. I will say this is very in character for Atham, but this is very like impersonal. He's
Well,
gonna
there's
say,
two ways to do it. You could do it in personal, or you can choose to not.
"Oh,
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
I know that there is purity in numbers, and the the sanctity of the many is more important than the redemption of a few. But as the church teaches, and I've said that so many times in school, it almost became second nature to just say it during times of hardship. But
Yeah, dogma I find doesn't usually help with moral quandaries. I mean, the simple answer is you just make the best decision you can at the time. If it's out of your control, it's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. And this seems pretty far outside of your control.
I could go back in there. I could try and stop them. I could say something.
Would it stop them?
I don't know. I've tried in the past. I was able to get Zin to stop his worst ideas, but usually that was just about murdering somebody who slighted him in combat training, or
Oh, so Zin
or
made this
getting a
decision.
teach. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but
No, it's fine.
yes.
Well, it's not fine, but I get what you
Fine.
mean.
It's all good.
It's in Zin's hands. He could make a difference.
Well, okay. Let's run a hypothetical here. So we're at the start of the scenario. You've got a town. There's some necromantic infection. Let's say, I didn't get the exact numbers from Iman, but let's say there's 5% of the population is zombies, and an unknown other percentage is infected. You're there. You're at the start. What would you do?
Well, purge those that had clearly fallen. If I had been here earlier, I could potentially cure those that had been infected. If we had more of my brothers here, we could definitely cure those that had been infected, and we could cure the water source. Maybe. That's the thing, is that I think that at least in the Church of Pure Water is teaches about the health of the public, of the general flock. We go over theories of what best to do. There's nothing that affects the health of the whole more than water. So that's what we study. I think that if we put quarantine procedures in, I think that we could fix this. Especially, we could stop it from spreading, since there's already been refugees who have been leaving, unless we go and hunt them down and bring them back just to slaughter them.
See, that was the first mistake. First, it was not handled by someone thinking rationally. It was handled by, what was his name, Iman?
Yes.
He's a paladin, right? He's not a doctor.
No, definitely not.
One of
He's
the
a
biggest
little
mistakes
bitch,
the
that's what
church
he
has
is.
made is separating its intellectuals from its fighters. So you have people without any combat experience thinking up plans, and you have people with combat experience trying to make plans.
Well,
Heresy.
So
Zin's heresy
I think we can
senses are
safely
going off.
say this is in no way your fault. It's a matter of timing and those involved. Had you been here, the people of this town wouldn't have scattered, so we would know we'd be able to quarantine them, know exactly how many are infected, right? And then we could have pursued your plan with far less people required to maintain it. Correct?
Well, depends on whether or not they would have listened. These people are, at least from what I've seen, are a decent amount of them are faithful and have probably listened to what the paladins have said. We don't know if there would have been a revolt had it been anyone else. But
I usually find that if people know you're trying to help them, they don't try and kill you.
oh, I would hope that it would be like that. But maybe you can talk to him. Maybe you can talk to Zin. I know he at least. Listen, I know you two have your dispute.
Yes, I agree, but I think Zin did make a rational choice, even if it wasn't a very good one. The people have spread out, and it is a terrible decision. It's a completely
Shush.
best. Ideally, you would want to. Okay, say it was me doing this. I, with enough other scions, could go figure out exactly who is infected by just reading minds, right? And unfortunately, there's only one of me here, so I can't do that. And we don't have the time. We got to get to the sealing ceremony, which I'm sure you will agree is the most important event currently. Regardless of whether it will do the most good, there couldn't be nothing that happens at the sealing ceremony. But if something does go wrong, we do need to be there.
Wait, you can read minds?
You're kidding, right?
You haven't. No, out of character, Cameron. You've not told anyone pretty much.
Yeah,
yet.
no,
It's
Atham
already
assumed
Yeah, you
Cyril
told
was the
no one
smartest and
anything.
caught on.
Cyril's noticed that you're perceptive, but to the difference between being like you also in this world, like like foresight, mind reading is
Yeah,
a
no,
very
Atham assumed Cyril had figured out he uses psionic powers, so he assumed then, because Cyril is by far the most intelligent other person in the party, that he could have put together that he reads minds. So,
I'll put it like this, real quick: is that
no, there's no canon conflict. This is what Atham thinks.
no, I'm just saying. Here's what is being explained, real quick. I just remember that psionics is a very, very rare thing. So
Yes.
a cleric, even a decently high level one, might not know that psionics exists.
Okay. That yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay, but
I will say that for purposes of a few things that haven't been explained yet, Cyril does know about psionics. He's going to say, "Well, I figured that you had some sort of psychic ability. I didn't realize that you had the ability to read this many minds at once. Usually, it takes." In our class, it was explained that for most psionics, the ability to read minds at will usually requires a lot of effort, and you don't seem to be straining yourself every time you pick up some kind of uncanny piece of knowledge. So I assumed it was something to do with foresight more, but I guess this confirms
it is a bit of both, I suppose. But I'm well practiced. We can put it at that for now.
You're right. It's
But-
neither here nor
Athem's
there.
bragging.
But yeah, so it's. I think the problem that we're having at the moment, or that you seem to be having, is that you're a bit frustrated at the lack of an initial rational response to this crisis.
I mean, when you put it like that, I can see what you mean, and I do understand the rationale behind the decision, but it's hard to imagine your childhood friend and one of the people that you thought you knew is ordering the deaths of civilians that could potentially be saved. I mean, even if it's not rational, or even if it is, wait, shouldn't you save as many people as you can, no matter the risk. I thought that's what heroes do. I
Yes.
thought that's what the church was about, in some senses at least. I know Iman and Lear, but I guess it's just hard for me to grapple with seeing Zin like this. Which, speaking of Zin, whenever I will let you decide, whenever you and Lear are done talking and want to come out of the church, you will see Atham and Zin talk, or Atham and Cyril talk.
I think I like hearing this conversation for a bit more, and then I'll
Okay.
decide when to come in.
Well, it could be explained in many ways. You're aware of the angel in Zin's head, right?
Well,
Straight up.
okay. Well, you guys all of a sudden, like, you weren't talking about lore.
Hey, you
for,
told
like,
me to be upfront. You told me no beating around the bush. I place the blame on you. What? All right, no, fuck it. I'll go back to the fucking Tsundere shit, like you were saying. All right, no. I think you should do it on your own, Cyril. I think I should be involved.
No, I'm just saying,
Right.
as a side comment, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying I find it funny that in like the last 3 sessions we've had like a bunch of like very important lore drops
Listen,
that
they weren't
people
picking up on the hints. I weren't supposed
true.
to making that many good
Your
hints
kids are
either,
very
I'll be
dumb.
honest.
That is true. Okay, listen. Cyril's going to say that he's going to don't. He's going to look around. He's like,
I read minds. It was inevitable for me to find out.
no, I had a friend in the Chantry way back when we were in our initial Church of Purity schooling, before we were separated into clerics and paladins and whatnot. And Zin was having nightmares, and he would see things, and eventually myself and my friend Claren, I originally had I had talked to Zin originally by myself, and we figured something else, and he mentioned things about seeing an angel, and I remembered him being an Azamar and all that, and I had always thought that there seemed to be someone speaking to him, and he mentioned that, and I had gone to see an elder student named Claren, who was my friend, and I asked him, and I confided in him, and I tried to see if he knew what this meant, and he said he would talk about it to the upper echelons, that he would talk about it to some of the high clerics that were on the island, and I never saw him again. I don't know where he went, and so you got to be careful mentioning that. I am aware of it.
That's
yes,
a bit
though.
more troubling than I was aware. Okay. Well, so if you want to throw it up, if you want to throw up a nice, easy answer, easy to digest, easy to understand, anything dogma related can just be overblown by reaction from that. Being a bit more hardline when it comes to things like this.
And
that's an answer.
It is an answer, yes, but just, well, he's your friend too. Does this not bother you that he's going to kill these people?
Extremely.
Right.
I was, but I've told Cyril sort of knows roughly how old I am, right? At this point, I've told.
You've mentioned that you're old. You're centuries old. I don't think you've mentioned exactly how many
centuries
years.
old is fine. There's a lot of things the church does, regardless of if you fully agree with it or not, and they do some good things. Like, for example, the clerics are incredible pillars of communities. But every couple years, we get something like this. I stopped a few of them in a long time ago, but eventually, you try and poke your nose in too much, and you start getting hunted down as some kind of cryptid that goes around saving people. Which is not a fun way to live, so I had to stop that. I've recently been adopting a stance of as much non-interference as possible concerning the church, but shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Max. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Lost my train of thought now.
You've adopted a thing of non-interference.
Non-interference. You could very well go and argue for your plan with Lear and Zin, since they are the only ones that will be able to. Unless you think you can change Iman's mind, which, from what I've seen, he seems pretty set in his ways.
No, he'd probably enjoy just feeling in control more than anything. I don't trust that man.
Yeah. I don't know much about Lear, but given how long he's been with the church, I'd say dogma is probably set in pretty deep on him too.
All the Asmars are raised from birth, so he's basically, in a way, like Zin's older sibling, I guess you could say. He's basically an older version of Zin if you want to look at it from a doctrinal standpoint.
Yes. So you might be able to convince Zin, but since the decision's already been made, you would probably need to convince Lear as well. And I don't think that's within your power. If it is, do it. But if you another option, which I've found pretty useful, which is skirting around authority, is to go directly to the other clerics in the camp, ask their help, tell them to try and assist in any ways. Prolonging quarantine, for example, is an excellent way of keeping people out of the line of fire. Putting people into quarantine who stuff like that.
Real quick, what are you? Are you stepping out now, Zin?
I want to step out, and I want to hear the last thing that Atham said about calling the other clerics without, letting authority know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
Can I do that?
Yeah. Let's say that you pop out at that awkward moment. We'll say.
Hello.
What are you talking about?
Oh, just some advice for Cyril. He was learning how to fill up his water bottle. See you around. I'm gonna walk off.
Don't leave. No! Atham, no!
So you can call out. One of you two can call out.
Player
I feel
motivated.
like I need to run a perception check to. I feel like I would have to check to see if.
I'm gonna pat
be
Cyril on the
able
shoulder as good chat.
All right, yeah, roll a perception check. Why not?
I would have rolled a perception check because I feel like Zin would not. Oh fuck! Okay, he doesn't. I was gonna say I was gonna try and have him intervene and make Atham be like come back. He'd be like, don't shrug this off. But I think I rolled a fucking 2. He just thinks Cyril was literally filling up his water bottle.
Oh my god!
Chatting around the water cooler of the town.
I can't believe
Such a dumb
this.
little boy.
He's so dumb.
Well, if you overheard something, we've established that. So I don't know, maybe perhaps advantage, Mr. DM.
Oh yeah, advantage. Let's say advantage.
Hey, watch me roll a nat 1.
So that would be funny.
I rolled. Okay, that hit something. Oh wow! I rolled a 9.
What? And you have a -2 to perception?
No, I literally just rolled a 9. I have a perception. I have a +1.
Oh, okay.
I have decent wisdom. I just have really bad intelligence. He's not very intelligent, which makes
Perception is wisdom.
yeah. So I have a +1 instead of a -1.
Oh, okay. That's what I meant by good. Okay, all right, understood. Understood. All right.
It's okay.
She-
For things I have like +7s to like strength stuff, so that's okay.
It's all right. It's all right. So if you don't have to justify not stat stuffing, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I just want to make sure everyone's applying the right modifiers.
In my opinion, I actually like having bad modifiers to stuff because it's better to fail once in a while, in my opinion.
That's true. Builds character.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Literally.
in this case, we're not building character, though. We're walking away from character building.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
as it should be.
that is true.
fine. I think Cyril was filling his water bottle, but Sin is also going to watch Atham walk away, and he was like, "But what did the water bottle have to do with summoning the clerics?"
Oh, they're water clerics. Don't overthink it.
Oh my god.
Fuck off! I'm trying to work this out.
Yeah. He doesn't say that. He walked away. We'll say that before you could say anything. Unless you were saying that to Atham specifically.
Yeah, I was saying that to Atham.
Oh, I thought you were saying it to Cyril. Okay. So yeah. So all right. So Atham responds like that.
Wait, okay, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't know that was in character.
Okay. No. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was in character. All right.
What did you say to Atham? Sorry, I got
said,
thrown
"What
up.
does filling a water bottle have to do with summoning the cleric?"
I'm gonna look over at Cyril. Just like if he want does he want the conversation to continue?
Um.
I'm gonna go, guys. I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye bye.
I also have friends who are interested in one-shotting, but that's a later conversation.
Yeah. Well, I'll one shot them into the grave.
Oh shit! What the
With a
hell?
bottle.
pistol.
I vote for that one.
So rude.
I vote
We
for that
can't do
one.
any
That
more
was good.
waiting lists anyway.
That's a
Good
real
night, Reese.
long-ass
Good
waiting
luck on your
list.
good luck on your quiz.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna go.
I was trying to kick her.
Nerd.
Wait, real quick. What does timeout someone do? Oh, you can tell. Does that stop them from being in the server for a while?
It might.
Probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with that.
Do it to Atham, test it.
I was gonna say Atham or Soph and Cameron are staring down the loaded barrel right now. Now that I figured that out.
I don't know, but I feel like that could be problematic.
I don't know. So let's see what happens to you. No, I won't do that.
To do that, you'll have to redo all my channels.
Yeah.
Oh God, well, I
To
think
redo all my
I'll do that.
permissions.
All right. Well, here I'll try and I won't get too sidetracked here.
Yes.
I guess Cyril's going to look at Zin, and he's going to say, "Can I talk to you alone for a second?"
Okay. Why?
I'll tell you when we are alone.
Okay. Sure.
All right. I'm gonna go get a drink of water then.
From the fountain thing that's right there.
Wait,
no, don't drink
there's
the
another
water
one on the other
here.
side. There's another one on the other side of town.
Contaminated water. Why would we drink the water here?
Goo is tasty. Goo
That's
is
why I'm not
tasty.
drinking from the well.
Goo is tasty.
I just realized you were saying we're standing by the well.
Michella's
and you
infected everyone in the party.
Yeah. Wait, okay. Anyways, Atham goes away, whatever. Scene continues. I'm gonna actually mention that to Cyril. Be like, you didn't drink any of that water. Or put that water in your water bottle, right?
No. Well, I did put some in my water bottle, but it's to test. I need to see if I can purify it.
Don't drink it.
I'm starting to remember your scores from before you went to Paladin School. It's Cyril. It's nobody. I guess nobody's around to hear this, but Cyril just thinks in his mind. Man, you're lucky. You're lucky that himbos are in season, right?
Yeah,
They've always
Atham,
been in.
brain Atham spits more water.
Oh, wait, I need to. Oh, here, I'll put that in quotes of the day too. Or actually, Max, could you put in "Brain Atham spits more water" in the quotes of the day for me while I'm doing this? Here, um, Cyril's going to be like, he's like, listen, I know that this is maybe the safest option in a way, but I think that this is an extreme measure. The quarantine procedures, thank you by the way, are would be fine in this case. They're zombies. They're not going to overpower anyone as long as we keep them within the village.
Cyril, the decision has been made. I can't go back on it now. Think about the consequences of us not being strict in our answers. We have to keep this authority. How long would it even take? We don't know for sure.
If we pushed horses, we could get there soon, and we might be able to relay a message. Maybe Atham, with whatever powers he had, could send a long range message to somebody in the city and get one of the clerics to send a retinue here. I think like he's going to take the water and he's going to pour it over his hand, and he's going to. He does it, and as you can see, that as he does it, the water becomes pure. But he stops a little bit, and he's concentrating really hard, and it starts to fade a little bit. But then he tenses his arm up really, and concentrates and furrows his brow, and you can see that it swirls with white light, and he's able to just barely get it to go clear again. And he drops it down. He's like, see, it's hard. We don't have enough clerics here that are high enough level. We need more from my order, but this is what we do.
The problem here is not that you guys can't do it en masse, is that we have other priorities and not enough time. Lear has a point. We have to put the good name of the church above a random village. You understand this. I don't
Do you
know why
understand
you have to
that-
actively defy me.
Defy you? Do you understand that slaughtering a village is not going to look good for the church?
That's what we've been doing for centuries. You can't ignore that.
This is what you always did since school. You would always go for the hammer before you would go for the book, before you would go for the bandage. There's more to being part of this church, to being pure than there is to just hurting people, to violence, to smiting.
Who here was chosen by the angels? Don't talk to me about what the real meaning of the church is. I feel so mean.
So what?
I feel so mean. That's just out of character.
Well, if this is the true meaning of the church, then I've got a lot of thinking to do.
You doubt our ways. You doubt the organization you've spent your life dedicated to. Over what? A handful of strangers?
Strangers? What did you think I was doing when you met me? And again, back in Antania, I was helping people. I was helping strangers, those poor children, those tieflings that were sick, and you saved them. Did that not feel good? Did that not mean anything to you?
There are times when we can do the saving in the way that you proclaim, helping people, the nitty gritty. But there are times where there is bigger pictures that have to be upheld. It's not to get this far as a church, as a way of protecting the angel, like divine orders. We have to make these sacrifices. Nothing can grow like this without it. Nothing can be strong without it. We have to implement authority. We don't always have time to do the little things or the time to waste doing them. If the sealing ceremony was not in, 2-3 days, with the potential, who knows whatever Minervans and Luce and all of them could be planning. He tried to kill Lear, and Asimar was almost assassinated. We can't risk not protecting the sealing ceremony. We just can't. And I know you know this. What is the point getting so upset over this? I don't understand.
Do you remember the story of Laura and Jonathan?
Who? I
I
mean,
didn't
yeah.
expect you did.
Wait, is this like a church story or is this like
It is a church story, but Zin doesn't
Okay.
know it because it's scholarly, and Zin was not taught it much. It was more of a clerical thing.
Okay, cool.
About how one of the holiest saints of his time, Jonathan, laid down his life protecting that lowly leper of the name Laura, to be the good preacher, the lessons that have been taught. I know that they're conflicting sometimes, but what good is it being the ones in the right, being the ones who have the power, who've got the divine say about them, if we can't make the world good? The world is shitty enough on its own. Any god or force can do that. But I thought when I was going through that school that it was the angels who had the ability, the one people who might actually have a chance of using that authority to do something right. To me, that's holy. And maybe it's not what you say, or maybe you are above me, or whatever you want to talk about it, but I know what my relationship is to the church. And I know I followed you around like a sad little puppy most of our relationship when we were younger, but there is one thing that I won't give up, not even for you, and that is my empathy. And I have empathy for these people here today. And you know what? If you make the decision, then fine, I will follow it. But I'm going to go and help them in the triage station until the very end that you order them to the block.
Fine. I can't stop you. As long as you don't defy me, we won't have any problem, I guess. And
He's turning and walking away, and
Yeah. Sin's gonna just let him go.
it starts raining.
Oh, come on.
Starts raining
Am I-
specifically on you, though.
Old Charlie Brown.
Stop, that'd be so funny if like Cyril was making like fake rain go down just on Zin, just so he felt sad. Like,
Why do you think it's only raining on you? I was being
oh
serious.
yeah. Oh, you were being serious? Okay,
I
cool.
was being serious, yes. I was deciding on how he would do it, because he could have also just exploded a bunch of water pressure around and like broke every window and barrel nearby, but I thought that would be a little too dramatic. So he just summoned a little rain so that it's harder for you to see him as he walks away. And he's going to go over to the triage station.
Zin is confused. He does not like the rain. It is getting his hair wet. Kind of putting his hair. Like, what is? Because like the skies, I guess the skies are clear, but there's just like some rain. He doesn't put two and two together.
Do you want to roll for 7 or an insight?
No, I think
Well,
he's just
actually,
gonna...
not for the rain, but I do want you to roll an insight check.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled well. 18.
All right. So, what do you think? I'm going to say that Zin feels something seize a little bit in his chest. And I want you. What is Zin feeling now? Because that's probably the first fight that you and Cyril have ever really had. Like
second.
Well, like the other one was more of like an emotional, like kind of young teens thing. Like you guys were not doing so well, and that was when you left each other and like kind of fell out of touch. And when you were early teens, and then this one is more of like you're killing people, man. You're actually about to murder a bunch of civilians. I do respect you sticking to your guns, though, on the fact that you wanted your massacre. Now you're about to have it.
I was like, this is the whole point of the church stuff that I built, and I think this needs to happen for further character development. I feel like Zin feels this little pain in his chest, and he doesn't quite understand what it is. But he kind of, grips his chest, and he's like, what? Doesn't really get it. He does.
On an 18, I think you get it a little more than you're saying.
Well, like,
Maybe.
does he know what it is? I feel like that's the thing. He's like,
That's for you to decide. I think
that's
that
what
this
I'm
is
trying to think. I don't think. Actually, oh, you know what? Fine. I think he's probably like, is this what it feels like to be sad? No. He like brushes it aside, but he kind of either mumbles that to himself or says it in his head. I feel like, because he's never felt sadness like or something like this. He only heard of it, so he just feels a pain and he doesn't like it. He is like, maybe he just mutters something like, hurt. Why? And I think that's it. Yeah. Ooh, genocide.
Whew.
Ooh.
So
All right.
let's see the
No one
seed
was
then.
talking.
Genocide. Come on.
No
Let's
one was
go.
talking, so I felt like I had to say something more out of character, but
Oh, that's great. Oh, that is.
You guys have some dark quotes, I gotta say.
They're out of context. Of course, they're dark.
Well, are they? Even in context, I don't think this is great. The role perhaps abandonment. She's I forgot about that one from last week. Oh boy.
This has been so fun.
What next?
I love angst. I love some angst.
So tell you what. Cyril's gonna go to the trio station. This is like now becoming in the Cyril show. Honestly, just keeps bouncing between the members. And you can see that he starts helping. He talks to them. We'll say that you all, both Zin and maybe Atham, can kind of see this from afar. You're doing the whole like,
Yeah, I'm observing.
yeah. Let's say Zin had the awkward like you're fighting and you guys are in the same like office or like house or whatever, and you have to like occasionally glance at the other one because you're being awkward about you just fighting, but something like that.
How far of a distance are they away?
I don't know. It's up to you. He's in the tent. You can be as close as you really want.
How far away is the pipe that kind of left me at. I was just gonna kind of like sit.
You're like on
somewhere.
the other side of town. You can kind of see the triage tent, but you couldn't really make out Sin if you were still that far away. If you go to the town square where the pipe or the not the pipe, the fountain or the well and the church is, then you can kind of see him occasionally walk in and out of the tent and stuff like that. But like you barely make him out. He's still kind of like a block or two down.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna kind of like just sit and think, or I don't know, just kind of sit probably by that well in the town square or something. Take some Zen time. But anyways, continue.
No. I mean that. Don't say any. That was I was trying to figure out exactly that.
He's not paying too much attention about Cyril. He's being stubborn. He's like, they just got in a fight. He's kind of still trying to figure out what the fuck is happening with
So
his chest.
did he have a wound that he didn't realize was there?
Yeah, no, that's seriously what he's thinking at this point. Like he kind of got it, but then he was like, no, maybe it's just a wound that's acting up. Like he doesn't fucking know.
Oh, that's really good, Max. I didn't see the to break up a gay. Damn, I didn't realize Atham was so homophobic. I thought that was so. Damn.
I told Cyril to think for himself, and now I'm breaking up gay people. What the fuck?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You should fucking.
That's offensive. All right. How dare you? This is not this. As I said in my
Stay
chat,
behind and explain your point of view instead of just going, haha, I'm off to drink well water.
Oh, fuck up, Mushroom. You're dead.
I like how I like imagining Atham like doing a weird like run waddle skip away. He's like, haha, I'm gonna drink beer.
My
now.
work here is done.
Done.
My work here is done. I'm no longer gonna get involved in their whatever.
Free book.
Skipping along. He does not want to deal with his like son's romance right now.
So you can see that there's like a bunch of people, like humans in there. There's a couple, there's one of their tieflings, a couple orcs. You see him treating a boy, a girl, a half orc girl, a tiefling child. Like there's a bunch of like people, and there's like they said, there's like 40 or 50 people that are still getting treated, and there's a few more that are perfectly healthy and haven't been even injured or hurt. Some of these people are just injured. Some of them aren't even like necessarily sick with infection or taint, but it's hard to tell. After a while, some time passes as people are getting ready. The orders being sent out that a stricter purge might be being carried out as the paladins are starting to round up people from their houses. After a little bit, Cyril's going to come over in kind of like a surgical, like old 1800s style smock, with some blood on it, and like he's going to be wiping his hands with some stuff. And he's going to go over to Atham, and he's going to look around real quick, and he's going to be like, "So you remember how you were saying that you could read minds earlier?"
I have that capability. By the way, do you need any help in terms of physical science, physical medical practice? I've got some expertise in that department.
I mean, if you want to pick up, we've got a bunch of, for lack of a better word, grunt work to do in terms of medical science, but most of the injuries are either minor or standard. There's not too much, and there's nothing that requires huge expertise. But I appreciate the offer, and I'll keep that in mind should we ever encounter something like this again. Hopefully not. But does the reading minds also include saying things as well? Can you use it? Is it a two-way street in the telepathy department?
It's totally manipulable. I am able to completely manipulate it. So yes.
How far can you send a message?
Question. I believe with some tweaking. Need to look at here. Is there anything that extends the range? I think it's just in as long as I can. I mean, as long as I can see the person, or for longer range, I would usually go into some kind of trance, and that is limited to just one person. Otherwise, it's sight, or 120 feet if it's not visible.
If, for example, could you use somebody as kind of a relay of sorts if they had a personal connection with somebody like that, that maybe you could get you to somebody you hadn't met yet or couldn't see?
Depends on how far. I have a bunch of different ways. Some might require more time to do, though.
To New Xanter.
Is
Day's
that
ride.
Yeah, I can. If you can give me a description, I can. Yeah, we can do that. They would need to be asleep, though.
Okay. He's gonna say it's getting late now. We might have a chance. So there's somebody I might need you to talk to, and we're gonna call it there. Yay! That's what I'm talking about, baby. I got a message. He's gonna look at Atham and he's gonna say, "I got a message to send," and he's gonna cock a gun. He's gonna be like, "And it's not a pretty one." No, I'm just he's a peaceful guy, kind of.
You son of a
Also,
bitch.
Bitch ass!
I'm in.
that's good. That's good that you had the glasses ready. I was going to ask, by the way, real quick, before we get to, I guess, unpacking, since we still got not a too long of a session right now. What the hell was with the Walter White post a couple days ago, Cameron? I don't understand what the.
You don't understand the One Piece thing?
No,
The notes
Stop
that the
with One Piece.
Oh,
Why?
okay.
no. I get the One Piece's real thing, but I don't understand. I don't remember Walter White being a part of that in terms of.
You
It's
never.
just a parody of it, isn't it?
It's a bunch of. Basically, it's
No, I think we
drawing
know
a bunch of people in the art
in that art
yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just chose
Yes,
a funny
kind
one.
of got that.
I'm sorry we didn't draw a picture of you doing that in a high quality.
I was trying to
let's
make
do-
one look like Atham, but I couldn't find one.
We'll just
I don't
hire
know.
one
That
of the.
looks exactly like Atham.
At one
Walter
point, sure.
White.
Short, bald, giant mouth.
Yeah, in my head, Ken and Atham actually looks like George Costanza.
Atham looks like Atham to me.
Well, Atham is
Man, this
he's a
Atham sure
psychic
tastes like
being.
Atham.
Man, this Atham sure tastes like Atham.
That's why everything's Atham.
Everything is Atham.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
Everything is Atham, 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 Atham.
Oh no! If
I
I can't say
forgot
it,
to-
I might do a parody of that. That'll be funny.
That
That would be good. We should hire somebody for
No,
I'm
I feel like
against
just Cameron
Atham
should do it.
in
Cameron should be
every
the
way.
voice of Atham. Think about it. You just go.
I forgot to edit
"Everything
the,
is Atham.
I need a
Everything
few
is
like
Atham, Atham,
years
Atham,
of vocal warm ups, but yeah, maybe.
So I forgot last week's winner for quote of the day. I will put we can put voting now, and I'll remember to message Reese. Here, let's vote, and then we'll mention that for the recording, and then we'll kick it, and then we can talk about scheduling stuff for next week if we need to, real quick.
Oh boy, scheduling. The most fun thing to talk about.
I know, yeah. I will say so. I might vote for that one too, the genocide one, because that's very Cameron saying "woo" something woo. It's a very Cameron thing, so it's kind of funny that she said it.
I only do that during strategy games.
Maybe
Which
I
is like
picked it up.
90% of your
Maybe
day.
I'm Atham.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's
Oh, God.
I didn't want to spoil it, but
Sometimes I wish the audio recordings like could have some of the facial expressions and shit that I do when I do this, because like I feel like there's always like a thing that you miss, like
An element is
listening
lost,
to it.
yeah.
An element is lost, but it's also like
I had to cut a whole bunch of pauses from my campaign because I'm doing stuff like that while I
pauses
pause.
in.
Yeah.
But when it's just recording, it's just
Yeah, exactly. I just like I do a bunch of like silly things, and I'm just like, damn, They're missing
Yeah.
this. They're missing.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I think they get it. I think our personalities come through on the recording.
Oh no, they do come through. They do. They're fine. I just feel bad because sometimes I'll do something like that you can only see on screen. I'm like, oh shoot, recording's not gonna get it.
I think I'm
I'll
gonna
need a
vote
better
for-
background if we're gonna do with cameras at some point, though.
Oh God.
Oh no,
Come on.
I don't want to have my face on the.
No, my face is never going to be on the. No.
They can't
Yeah.
know our true identities.
Yeah,
They can't know
exactly.
our true form. Otherwise,
Wait,
they'll only
question,
see
Max?
us as each of the characters.
Do we ever like say our last names and in the calls
No.
and stuff?
I don't remember
don't.
any of your
No.
last names. I don't think
Okay.
any of us have
None of
ever.
I feel like Sean has called me by my last names before, but like I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like.
I actually was thinking about this today, where I was like, "Wait a minute, what if we were doing like a thing?" And I was like, "Wait, what's Soph's last name?" I just remembered it right now, but I don't think I've said it like in a long time. 'cause
Okay,
I
cool.
completely forgot.
I
about
just like was wondering if Max had to like go in and like edit those out and
it. Well,
stuff.
I don't want him to be doing too much editing. Like I
No,
was
I just
perfectly
didn't know
fine.
if he had to do that before. Like I didn't.
I've
realize.
never had to do that.
Stop enslaving people, Soph. I've had enough of this.
If that ever happens, if someone has details they don't want in the recording, just like let me know. If
Yeah.
it's gone up, because
Yeah.
I can take it down and replace it.
Yeah, we can do that, and we'll
Yeah,
like
that's
if
fine.
it happens in this
Curious.
thing, we can just put it like if Max isn't here and it happens, like just put a ping in like bar fight and say, hey, Max, when we do upload this, at your convenience, I mentioned like my social security number at this timestamp. Please.
I forced Cameron to tell me his full name, social security number, date of birth, the last few digits.
Transcribe
on
my
credit card.
thumbprint as
Yeah.
binary into the call.
Listen, I'm just saying that if we ever do something like that and I have to take down a video, we'll really upset all 11 subscribers, some of which are
Yeah.
soft twice.
No, you just have to do the like redact sound over it.
Yeah, you just gotta go burp
Yeah.
or just a funny sound.
Just one long episode of burn.
I want to mention real quick that I've wanted to respond to some of the tavern posting that you guys have done that I haven't had a chance yet, but I do want to know that it was seen and it was appreciated. Specifically, I did like the Waldo we got it.
Burp.
The watching a paladin smite. Some of Reese's photos. And the come outside from the 10,000 bees was always good. It was good. Also, I do like the free hammer. All right.
I don't know what to vote for.
We'll do one more vote and then we'll kick Craig and then we'll do the scheduling stuff. Which
Yeah.
maybe we can also do some of the scheduling for Root too while we're here.
Oh yes. Yeah, this week probably not for Root for me unless we do it earlier in the day because I've got my brother coming by.
Okay,
Right.
I'll leave
I
that there.
voted.
Good. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Craig.
Bye, guys.
Adios.
Love you.
I don't love
I
that.
dare you.